good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. And me, Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, we will be talking about the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. We will be talking about Nigeria's slim but fading chances of qualifying for the World Cup. We will also be looking at the teams that have booked their place and some of the matches currently going on across the globe, in Europe, in Asia, and in all of those places. We'll talk about it on the show tonight. We will also talk about the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Of course, the quest to win the tournament for the first time has ended for Nigeria. The Flying Eagles have crashed out. We'll talk about the results. It wasn't a good day for Africa yesterday. It wasn't only Nigeria, South Africa as well exited the tournament. We will also be talking about, of course, teams happening here. Powerlifting championship for Team Nigeria. We will be looking at all of that. We'll also be talking about the 27th edition of the Nuga Games. So that's the outlook of the show tonight. As always, we just urge you to sit back, relax, even as we, take you on a trip across the money-speeding world of sports. All right. Before we, of course, bring in our guests on the show, let's just lay the background for you. I'm very sure you're going to see it pop up behind me. Let's just lay the background for you, talking about the big day tomorrow. Friday's fixtures, I want to quickly talk about before we introduce our guests and move on with the show. In three places that matter to Nigeria, that matter to Group C. There you have it. Lesotho taking on Nigeria. Rwanda and Benin will definitely cancel each other out. One is on 14 points and one is on 11 points, with both countries still feeling they have a chance to qualify. Then, of course, Zimbabwe taking on South Africa. That's what it looks like on paper, but it's actually more like an own game for South Africa. All right, let's quickly bring in Bada Akintunde Johnson. He joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you, Bada. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. And let's hope that we're on the eve of a historic day for Nigerian football. Of course, we can't confirm anything tomorrow, but it is to start with a win, and a big win away in South Africa, where the Lesotho national team plays. Let's hope that, the other results go in our favor and somehow we sneak in through the back door. I chuckle because I'm a little bit embarrassed to be hoping that Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup after only winning twice against the same opposition, Rwanda, after 7 games. It's almost unthinkable that we will find ourselves in this situation, where it is what it is, where we are. And of course, we all want Nigeria at the World Cup. So tomorrow, we hope we take the first step on this journey to performing the miracle of getting Nigeria to US, Mexico, and Canada through the back door.
All right. Thank you, Bada. Let's see if our next guest will be as hopeful as Bada is. Kelechi Ikude joins us now. Of course, he needs little or no introduction. He calls himself the local man. Greetings, Kelechi. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm even more hopeful than Bada, my brother. In fact, I've actually made the trip to Polokwane. So I'm there at the moment. I'm here at the moment. We just finished training a few hours ago. And yes, the mood in camp is fantastic. The boys know what's at stake. Like Bada said, it is what it is. I believe that we're going to win tomorrow. But with all due respect, people in the big media, people are not covering the Eritrea angle. Everybody just saying, this, I don't know what's going on. For me, I'm very hopeful. And once there's life, there's hope. I've been in this football game for a long time, and I know that shocking results can come up from anywhere. We've had our own shocking results as well. So let's see what happens tomorrow.
All right, I didn't want to bring up the Eritrea matter, but since you brought it up,
No, you have to cover it because there's a precedent. It's not a rumor. Mm-hmm. We're not saying CAF and FIFA have not said anything, no, so there's a little disclaimer. But there has to be balance, there has to be fairness. A group that has 5 teams, then a group that has 6 teams. You understand? They have to rebase, that's what they call it, rebase the economy, they rebase the numbers. And when you rebase the numbers, from my own calculation, we have a chance. We have to win our 2 games. We have to win our 2 games. And hope that, like Abada said, results also go our way. So let's be covering these things too in totality. You understand? I know that Austin Okonakman is there and he's my target. Let's just cover it in totality. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, so let me go back to Bada and just ask you. I'm embarrassed as you are that we're talking about all of this. We're talking about the Super Eagles. We're desperate for the Super Eagles to be at the World Cup. But reality is staring us in the face, and we know that winning the 2 games might just not be enough.
No.
But objectively, do you see South Africa needing 4 points out of 6 and playing 2 matches at home and not being able to do it?
It's quite unlikely. I think based on merit, the Bafana actually deserve to go to the World Cup. They've been docked 3 points, and that's the reason why we are where we are, because of an administrative issue. Had they not fielded an ineligible player, they'll be as good as on their way to the World Cup, because they've done what any serious nation desires. Global fiesta that the World Cup is, what is expected of them. And you look at the other groups, the teams that are in the prime positions to qualify for the World Cup have either won 6 or 7 games after 7 or 8 matches played. Nigeria has only won 2 matches, beating the exact opposition, the same opposition, Rwanda, 2 times. We played this same Lesotho we play tomorrow. We played Lesotho at home. We couldn't beat them. We've played Zimbabwe. We've played Rwanda twice. We won. We've played Benin Republic. Those are countries that, even if we're not pumping goals into the back of the net when we play them, we should be winning. But here we are, needing a miracle, needing South Africa to falter. So to answer your question specifically, I expect the South Africans to go and do the business. But this is football. You just never know. Zimbabwe may turn 1978 Argentina or 1982 Brazil
overnight,
or treble winning Manchester City and beat them, and all of a sudden, a very, very remote chance of qualifying becomes even a much bigger realistic hope or expectation. So as Kelechi said, stranger things have happened in football, so you can't rule us out completely. The head says it won't happen. Nigeria won't go to the World Cup. That's what my head says. But my heart says Nigeria will be there. How? Somehow. Anyhow. Nigeria would go to the World Cup. That's what my heart says.
All right. So that's the mood everywhere. We're just trying to hang on. We're just trying to grab anything. Well, my colleague Austin Okonakwan is ready now. I don't know if he's going to be as optimistic as Kelechi is, but it is what it is, and we are where we are. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for making it true to the show.
Well, greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Shout out to Kelechi right there in Polokwane, rooting for the Super Eagles, and Bada Kintunde Johnson. Yemi, I'm optimistic, but at the same time, I'm realistic. I've said it over and over again that I've closed shop on this qualifiers for a team that wants to go to the World Cup, home and away series. You play 10 matches, you've played 8, and you can only boast of 2 wins. Tells the level of intention you have for the competition. I'm glad Kelechi called me out, particularly in terms of optimism and the big media, reporting some of the permutations, calculations, assumptions, and all of that, just to, keep hope out there. But Kelechi, with the big media, were very big on verification. I have reached out to my sources in CAF. I've reached out to people in FIFA.
if I tell you the amount of work and push I did before FIFA docked South Africa that 3 points, constantly emailing, checking the judicial body sites, checking for verdict updates. Whoever played the politics was for South Africa to delay that verdict right after we played South Africa in Bloemfontein did a great job. Might be Patrice Motsepe and his influence and whatever, but with the big media, we report what is out there and what can be verified. So a lot of persons are talking about what's going on with Eritrea. We need some level of confirmation. As you also confirmed, CAF is silent about it, FIFA is silent about it. Yes, we have also mentioned it here and there, but hey, that's just words on the streets. But to stay with what's going on with the qualifiers, just to buttress on what Bada said, we all want the Super Eagles to be at the World Cup, particularly that we missed out of the last edition. I was right there in Qatar covering Morocco. I was just talking about Morocco at the last World Cup, not Nigeria there. So I'd like to go to the World Cup, big up my country, talk about Wilfred Indy, Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassey, Samuel Chukwueze, and use it to encourage the younger generations. But look, it is what we reap. It is what we sow, we'll reap. And it's evident, it's clear in our football. For the third time in a row, the Golden Eaglets won't be at the World Cup. The Flying Eagles have just, exited in the round of 16. The Super Eagles are struggling. And if you check these three teams I've talked about, Yemi can agree, I've been saying it on the show, we lack transition, we lack progression. If you ask me why the women are doing well, start monitoring from this under 17. You will find 2, 3, even 4 good names that will go on to the Falconets. From the Falconets, they will go to the Super Falcons. And the level of competition that they give at the senior women's level is fantastic. So I've said it's not just hope. We need to fast, pray, everything. But why always us? I had an interview with Shehu Diko, and he was trying to say at the time that he came, it was already a bad campaign, but if they're trying to manage it. Unfortunately, Kelechi, it is not us that will be right there on the pitch to play. We can only shout, root for our team, push them. At the end of the day, what will happen will happen. Let's still go back to how all of this problem started. 16th November 2023. I watched that qualifiers against Lesotho in Uyo. How Coach Jose Pizarro and the NFA were clueless. First, they would have just said to themselves, oh, is it not Lesotho? Poorly rated Lesotho. Oh, we will beat them. Secondly, they had their eyes fixed on the AFCON. They are so big on competition because we want to go there, play 6 matches, get to the final, and see ways that we can win it. Wuru to the answer, go to Abuja, somebody shake hands, and then there are benefits flying around. We are not thinking long term. We are not building. So I just hope that this time around, what is happening to us will make us reflect and see how we can change things. So Kelechi, what's the mood out there in Polokwane? Are the boys pumped up? Are they as optimistic as me, you, and Bada?
Of course, they are optimistic. Obviously, we have the visa issue with Olusegun who couldn't make it. So we have the 21 players. I couldn't make it to the press conference because where the camp is quite far away from town. By the time I was trying to order Uber, Uber no come. I had to join the players to the training. So, and I was going to ask the manager, because we don't have any right back. You invited Sanusi, another left back. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. I didn't have the opportunity to ask him that question. And then a lot of our players are also on yellow cards, so we need to watch it.
12 of them. 12.
Yeah. So, but the training went well. Everything well. Our hosts are fantastic. The food is fantastic. Everything is going well. We're just hopeful that tomorrow we'll do the job. Yeah, very hopeful we'll do the job. And the pitch is fantastic. Polokwane. So South Africa get this kind of pitch. That's what everyone says. I get this kind of pitch. They're going to give us injury. But it's okay. That one don't pass.
It's all the dirty politics that we've been talking about. I'll get to Bada, but let's see if we've got. We've seen the team train. They're getting ready. Let's listen to Eric Shell and, of course, captain of the side, William Troost-Ekong. There are lots of talks before the action. Let's hear what they're talking about.
Go to the World Cup.
So this is the football. Everything can happen during a game because of the weather, because of the referee, because of anything, because of the injury. So we need to stay focused about what we want for this game, what we want for to have this victory, and after there will be another game. So for sure, at 100%, stay focused on this game tomorrow against Lesotho, a great team with a good coach, and we need to be very focused to start well this game with a lot of intensity, a lot of aggressivity to score and to win this game.
Yeah, we're approaching this the same way we approached the game for South Africa. It's important for us to go for all 3 points. We have to show Lesotho respect. They've done well in the group. They've picked up points against us also. So yeah, it's going to be an important game for both of us. And yeah, we've just been focused on our preparation now. Like the coach said, 2 very good training sessions. Today, the 3rd one here. And yeah, we look forward to the game tomorrow.
So that was Super Eagles head coach Eric Sekoshel and captain of the side William Troost Ekong. Bada, I know this is a very difficult time for you to even give the sort of analysis that you'd like to give, but after listening to them, did they boost your morale?
Not really, not exactly. And the simple reason is not because I don't trust that they will do everything that they possibly can to get the job done. A part of me finds it hard to let go of the past. I wish this was the mentality from the very beginning.
That's right.
I wish this was the approach from the very beginning, because it's useless if you score 100 goals against Lesotho tomorrow, you score another 100 against Benin Republic in the final game, but South Africa go on and win their 2 games, and everything is meaningless, rendered absolutely useless. Yeah. And I'm not even getting into that Eritrea conversation, because it borders on another level of shame and embarrassment. Yes, really.
I mean, the rules are the rules.
Well, I hear you.
But the rules are the rules.
I hear you, Kelechi. The rules.
Yeah, that's number one. And number 2, I wanted to counter you on one point you made that South Africa, fine, they are the top, they deserve the fine. But let's not forget that they were playing most of their games at home, and FIFA allowed it.
But
everybody was playing in South Africa.
Bro,
when does it happen?
NFF
it happen in Europe?
NFF stood aside, knew the venues for all Lesotho home games was going to be in South Africa, didn't protest, didn't lodge an official complaint. You and I can say all we can, but there are people occupying those offices. There are people in those positions who are representing us, who saw that normally, who knew that that was going to provide an undue advantage for South Africa to play most of their qualifiers in their home country. But they didn't say anything. They didn't do it, at least not to our knowledge. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the reason South Africa is going to the World Cup is because they play Lesotho in South Africa. Zimbabwe are also their Southern African neighbors. We knew all of that before. And we should have prepared to go over and above just performances on the pitch to guarantee, to absolutely make sure. We knew all this politics were going to happen. We knew it. We're not novices. We're not new to Africa.
But I'll come back to you. I like where we're taking this conversation, but we need to go on this quick break. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. When we come back, the heated conversation will continue. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning, sports-loving Channels Television. We have Kelechi right there in Polokwane, South Africa, rooting for the Super Eagles as we await that big game against Lesotho tomorrow. Imagine we're playing Lesotho because of the gravity of the game. I'm calling it big game. Gracious goodness. Vada Kitunde Johnson is right there in Lagos. That conversation, let me say again what I know, Kelechi, and I reached out to my sources in FIFA. And even when we went on this break, I still called that source at FIFA. There was nothing Nigeria could do with the choice of where Lesotho or Zimbabwe wants to play. They do not have a stadium that FIFA can approve, and if they say they want to play, so when Nigeria cannot say no, they cannot play there.
But it gives an unfair advantage to the opposition in the same group.
It does, but
South Africa
Kelechi
is not the only Southern African country.
But that is where Lesotho. Kelechi, that's where Lesotho and Zimbabwe say they want to play. There's nothing Nigeria can do. If we fix our infrastructure, let's say Nigeria will have 3 good stadiums, Benin Republic will play in one of them. They won't be going that far. Do you know that? So this is a big one on us that we must do what we can to fix infrastructure.
No, but that shows the flaws in the FIFA statute or something. I don't know what the rules are.
Well,
but
Kelechi,
if people are in the same group, they're in the same group. If they're in a different group, then that's the different ball game. Even Brother knows that he knows what I'm talking about. Because now, your sources now have confirmed that nothing Nigeria could have done about it. So that's not the vice Brother's
because
position.
Nigeria actually
for competition fairness, you cannot have a team play 6 games at home.
So I made 2 points in one, Kelechi. Number 1 point is that it is not on record that Nigeria ever complained, officially, at least. The number 2 point is that if you know that the game is seemingly rigged against you, then what that says to you is that you have to go over and above what is normal, right, to get that ticket. The reason we are on 2 wins after 7 rounds of games.
But it's our fault, though. I'm not
fully on us. No. It's not because
it's fully on us. It's fully on us. Exactly. It's when you have said, "Oh, South Africa really deserves this." I'm like, yo.
But they've won more games than us.
At home.
They've won more games than us.
6 games at home, and then when it got to our turn, they now took us to one pitch that looked like gully erosion. Boys started falling, injury everywhere.
Unfortunately,
and then now we're playing the same Lesotho. If you see the lost grass, I say,
unfortunately, we cannot take the politics out of it. Let's even use the CAF Confederation Cup. Remo Stars played a team recently, but isn't it? And that same team stayed back to still play the second leg right there in Nigeria because they don't have where to play. So Kelechi, Nigeria wouldn't have come out openly to say we have contested it. But the NFF, they would have looked at it just as the same way they were pushing FIFA to dock South Africa off the points. But this is where we are now. All of these things, take points out of groups because of Eritrea pulling out.
But there's a precedent to that, though. There are precedents to that. That is why I expect big media, Austin Okonakpan, big media, to investigate the precedents. You cannot say, oh, because we don't have any sensitivity, we cannot report it. You can report that there's a precedent, but there's been no confirmation.
Kelechi, Brother said something very important. If we had won our games and we're on top of the Group C table, would you be concerned about that?
I wouldn't, obviously. But
that's the other side of the analysis.
And we need to give the people the right information.
Okay.
That's where we are.
Okay, let's get into the analysis now. Bada, I'll let you listen to Super Eagles players. Wilfred Ndidi, Calvin Bassey, and Terry Murphy. They're looking forward to that game, and then we'll talk about it.
These 2 games are very crucial. But first of all, we focus on the Lesotho one, and then we look towards the Benin one. But the most important right now is the Lesotho one.
To remain calm and do what we have to. I think this is not the first time club or country any one of us have been in high pressure moments. So I think we've got an experienced team to handle this situation, and it's just about making sure we do everything right.
The guys, we're really confident about qualifying for the World Cup. We have to do our part and wait for the result of the other team. So we're really confident things will go our way.
We're always going to fight to the end. We believe, we never stop believing. 2 important games now, Friday the first one, and then after when we get back to Nigeria. But all focus now on Lesotho. Boys are in camp, focused.
Super Eagles players right there. But let's get into the proper analysis now. The players are pumped up. They seem ready. You think they can get a big win over Lesotho?
Even a goal, half a goal will do. It's not a question of racking up goals. If we can win comprehensively, massive score, yeah, I'll take it. But what's key is that we don't get injuries to key players, because in all of these, we're focused on South Africa. We're focused on our opponents tomorrow. And we're losing sight of Benin Republic, who are sat atop that group, actually. Benin Republic are first on goals difference. And if you were Beninois, you'll be nursing hopes. You'll be dreaming of seeing the squirrels, or whatever they are called these days, at the World Cup in a few months' time. And if you're a Beninois player, you'll be fancying your chances to, one, go into your own game in this round and win, and then come to Nigeria and get a result that guarantees a World Cup qualification. So if you look at the two teams that we're considering, South Africa and Nigeria, Nigeria actually has the harder games, right? We go away to Lesotho in South Africa, where who knows how many South Africans show up to cheer the Lesotho national team, because they know that if Lesotho gets a result against us, it favors them. Nobody knows what sort of antics they get up to. But so far, Kelechi's reports suggest that all is well. There are no gimmicks. There are no.
I saw them in the stadium. They said they are supporting us. So I said, I don't understand the politics, my brother, because everything is just manama in my eye now. I'm confused because
let's hope that carries on till match time tomorrow, and nothing untoward happens. But my point is, see, Nigeria will win that game, because when our backs are against the wall, we know exactly how to deliver what is required. Thankfully, Osimhen is back from injury. We saw him looking so sharp against Liverpool the other day, running Konate and Van Dijk ragged. If he produces anything close to that against Lesotho tomorrow, we will score. But we need to keep players fit and healthy ahead of that game against Benin Republic. And we also need to keep the players who are a card away from suspension. We need to try and protect them from getting the card that rules them out from that very, very important decider, in my own opinion, against Benin Republic. Because if we fail to pick maximum points from these two games, even the Eritrea situation might not go in our favor, because we will not finish top two places. So we have to win first, the two games, to stand the chance to finish either first or second. And if we finish second, then we can start to talk about whether there's a group with 5 teams versus other groups with 6 teams, and precedents that Kelechi speaks about.
I'm sure Yemi has been so tired of this analysis. I remember the last time we talked about this. We didn't believe that after what we went through with the last qualifiers for the Qatar 2022 World Cup, that will still be right here talking about the Super Eagles this way, Yemi.
Yeah, and that's why I had to leave you guys to just trash it out. I don't know if there's anything left to be said. The enthusiasm is gone. And I do agree with Bada. If you're from Benin Republic, at this much, you will feel, you have a good chance of making it to the World Cup. Why not fight for it? We can go on and on. We'll see what happens. I do believe we're going to win our 2 games. But like I've said, previous editions of the show, we'll be doing South Africa's work. That's what makes it more painful. So
I mean, we need to win. For me, we need to score many goals. We need to score a lot of goals, because if my Eritrea angle comes in, it might boil down to goals. By the time you start deducting them 6 points, you deduct us 2 points, deduct their goals. You understand? And we need to score goals as well, because I mean, we drew head to head. If, say, South Africa lose 1 game, head to head, we drew. We to go down to goals difference. So all these permutations are very necessary to be analyzed, Mr. Bada and Mr. AOA.
Kelechi, this Eritrea angle is welcoming, but it is not heartwarming. Look, I will tell you, we put ourselves in this situation.
Austin, let me just quickly butt in. I don't know if we're going to be able to leave the Super Eagles matter altogether because we're pressed for time. But another interesting angle, that I'm looking at is, it appears to me like Nigerian fans don't matter what happens after the World Cup. Let's just get to the World Cup. Whether we go there and play poorly, whether the problems that we are highlighting at home, whether it is solved or not, it doesn't matter. Let's just go to the World Cup. That's the vibes I'm getting from a lot of people that I'm listening to. That look, let's just get to the World Cup. We just have to be at the World Cup. And it sounds a bit desperate. It sounds a bit desperate.
Yeah, because the World Cup is huge. The conversations around the World Cup is massive. And got the business angle. There's the betting side to it. People who will come out with prophecies. It unites the country. But Kelechi, let's try and stay with the game, particularly with leadership and football administration in Nigeria. While we're doing all of this, we are waiting for this angle, doing our permutations, this all boils down to leadership. We need to learn what are the lessons that we can take out of this to make sure that this doesn't repeat itself again, because Nigeria's football is sinking.
Well, we need to be better prepared. We need to stop all these. I'm not a fan. I mean, when Genacho was fired, I was really against. I'm not a fan of chopping and changing at every given opportunity. The Genacho one, I mean, he qualified us for a competition and he didn't even take us. That upset me really well because, he deserves it. But that's in the past. Again, like I said, it boils down to leadership. It boils down to what you said about progression from the youth teams and stuff like that. Because now it looks like anybody playing well in Europe or national team. Anybody, and that is why, and I keep saying it, I've always stood against the whole, what do you call it now? Maybe someone like a Saka, a British Nigerian blows up, hey, you must play for us. Hey, you must play. No, it doesn't work like that. It shows desperation. They're just gathering. There's no system. There's no progression. Look at Saka just scored now against for England against Wales. You can see the mates that he grew up with. They grew through the ranks and they progressed. Right. So once we get that progression right and we get our youth set up right, I think everything will be fine. But I'm still hopeful that we'll qualify you.
Yeah,
I'm still
okay. And we don't fault you and your optimism. Well done, Kelechi. I like this, and this is the role of the big media, that we talk all sides. Thank you so much, Kelechi, for your time on the show. Give our love and best wishes to the players. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Kelechi Ayekude speaking to us right there in Polokwane, South Africa. Bada, and it is what it is. Everything rises and falls on leadership. That our football is where it is now, because we're about to get into the Flying Eagles. I'm sure that one also got you disappointed.
Disappointment doesn't even describe it. I was thoroughly embarrassed. From the start of that competition, I'm not sure I've seen a worse Nigerian national team at any level, or a Nigerian national team at any level play worse than these guys. From the opening game, they didn't look anything like a team. They looked like people who were just picked randomly off the streets and given jerseys to come and play for Nigeria. And yesterday was just the culmination of what was, I think, days, weeks of us sort of showcasing how bad on the global stage our football has become. Yesterday, I couldn't count the number of times I got up from my seat super frustrated. It was painful to watch, to be honest. It was a painful watch. And the Argentine team could have scored more. I thought the 4-0 scoreline flattered Nigeria. Could have been 8.
Wow.
They could, it could have been 8. They couldn't string passes together. I'm sure I could have picked an 11 off the streets of Lekki or Ikorodu that would have done a better job at representing Nigeria at a global event.
All right, let me quickly throw something in, because we're pressed for time, and I need to ask this. Usually the line is always, well, it wasn't a good result. Well, can we pick the positives? Are there any positives to pick from this, our campaign in this FIFA Under-20 World Cup? Any positives to
Zero. Nil. Doesn't exist. There's no, I can't look at that entire team and pick out one individual that I think was deserving of being picked to represent Nigeria at this competition. We've had teams in the past that were dysfunctional, but you had players. I mean, Austin would remember Nigeria 99 when we hosted. The team was dysfunctional, but the likes of Yobo, Ikedia, they were stars. You could tell that they were just in a team that was dysfunctional. They were superstars in the making. I couldn't pick out one player in this entire team, that I can sit here and say is likely to go on and make, and no profit. But you can tell when you see a footballer who's got ability. The basics were missing. They couldn't track the ball, couldn't pass 5 yards. The movement wasn't there. The coordination wasn't there. It was just all vibes, and inshallah, it was embarrassing. And I do hope that with the catastrophe that our participation at global events and continental events have been recently, and this is not dissimilar to what happened with the Chan Eagles, that was another embarrassment. Like, I mean, it was painful. It was painful to watch. And this thing just has to end. It has to stop. We've got to fix our football. We've got to fix our league. And that's where it starts. The South Africa that is about to peep us to a World Cup ticket now, 95% of their players for the Bafana Bafana are picked from the Premier Soccer League in South Africa.
That's right.
So why can't we fix the league?
That's right.
Why can't the black nation in the world produce 20-something players from the local league that can stand up to anybody's test from anywhere across Africa? Why is that difficult?
Yeah.
We've got to fix, and until we do that, I'm sorry, we'll be going round and round in circles and be singing the same songs of sorrow, of pain, every 4 years.
I guess that's a good place to let it land. You kind of said it better than the way you have put it, and I hope the administrators are really listening, because it's really painful. But I can say, Johnson, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Thank you.
All right, so we're on the home stretch, so let's quickly talk about the results. Today, at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, the results on your screen: Paraguay lost to Norway, so Norway progressing into the last 8. Japan also losing to France just by a lone goal. You didn't see heavy score lines like the one you saw yesterday. But of course, yesterday, 2 of Africa's representatives crashed out. Nigeria losing embarrassingly to Argentina 4-0. And you heard Bada say it could have been worse. And of course, Colombia, in South Africa's case, you have to give them some credit. They put up a good fight, even lost a penalty in that game. So it could have gone either way. They lost 3-1. And of course, hosts also out. Mexico hammered Chile 4-1 at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. So, Austin, probably we should just leave Chile, end of the road for Nigeria, end of the road for South Africa. Maybe an African team can still do well.
I don't know. I was actually looking at South Africa because the bulk of that team, remember, came from the CAF Under-20 AFCON, and I thought they had done just enough to push. But hey, they met a determined, Colombian team. By the way, Colombia couldn't beat Nigeria, but it did South Africa that quick one because, of course, at the knockout phase, the competition is changing. But it is what it is. You see the way we ended it. Bada got to a place where he was saying, why is it difficult for us to reflect? That's why I was always saying that at the under-20 level, kill every form of win, and look at yourself and say, did I progress from under-17 to this under-20? If you didn't make any progression, then don't expect anything, because yes, this team was the cluelessness was out of the world, and it's all leadership. I keep saying it. So it is what we sow, we'll reap. Let's leave that for now for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Unfortunately, Nigeria is out, but hey, we'll do our job. We'll continue to monitor. Let's talk about the Cairo 2025 World Powerlifting Championship. Nigeria's powerlifters right there at the airport in Lagos, Nigeria, when they were departing, they left in 2 batches. That's the champ right there, Oluwafemi Ayo Folashade. She will be aiming to win a 5th medal at the World Powerlifting Championship in Egypt. And that's the 5th time she will also be competing there. Just to let you know that Nigeria will be represented by 18 powerlifters, 15 female powerlifters, and just 3 for the men. So we need to do more to get more men, 13 female, and of course 8 for the men. So we need to do more to get the men out there. I'm sure you want to read out the names of the athletes.
Since it's powerlifting, let me power through the names if I can. 18 names. Team Nigeria athletes: Ajiboye Rukayat Opeyemi, Alakefe Oluwa Shikemi, Ani Chiamaka, Modesta, Anigbogu Franca, Chika Odre. So Dauda Ibrahim, Ejike Lucy, we already know what she can bring to the table. Some other names still there: Ezurike Roland, Ferdinand Rita, Ganiu, Nanifat, Ibe Blessing, Idris Real One, Innocent Nandi. Still some other names. We have Mark Oyechi Gift, you have Wongu Esther, Ogudole Tolulokpaya, you have Oyema Esther, Razak Muftau, and Oluwafemi Ayofolashade. These are very familiar names. They've made Nigeria, done us proud on so many occasions, and our best to them as they go to Cairo, and hopefully they will come back with a lot of medals. All right, Austin, I guess our parting shot will be preparations for the 27th edition of the Nuga Games is just, I think, about a month away.
It's the Nuga Games, it's part of what we can start using Yemi to repair our sport. We used to do so well back in the day, but we went to sleep on it. I'm glad it's coming back now. University of Jos, right there in Plateau State, will be hosting the 2025 edition. As I said, Nuga is one that we actually can use to, get our sports back on track, tertiary institution, discover young talents. But I just hope that these dates will be what it has said it will be, because remember back in the day we've suffered with a lot of postponement for the Nuga Games, but with the pre-event activities that I've been saying, it's like it's going to happen this time.
Yeah, we hope it does. Less than a month to it. They're expecting 7,457 duly accredited participants all across Nigeria. So we'll see how that's going to happen. It's going to be from November 6th to 16th. So hopefully it will go ahead as planned. Right. I guess that's the much we can take on the show tonight. Austin is our parting shot. Of course, our hearts and mind in Polokwane and in the other two venues, hoping that we get a combination of results that could give us a bit of hope.
I told you, right after match day 7, I closed shop on this Super Eagles and their World Cup qualifying campaign. So my mind is not in Polokwane. I've chosen to stay in Cairo, Egypt, and support our power lifters, because that's another angle we need to say. The federal government, the NSC, we should give attention to special sports. So tomorrow, Rita Ferdinand will compete in the 79 kg category. Wogu Esther, she won silver at the 2024 Paralympics for Nigeria with a broken shoulder. Those are the people we should be supporting. She will be competing in the 50 kg event, and Ajiboye Rukayat will also compete in the women's 50 kg. All the best to the Super Eagles. But with the World Cup, I'm looking forward. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Well, it's a wrap here in Lagos as well. I want to thank you for allowing us into your homes without knocking. It's a privilege we will never take for granted. Still one more edition before the week runs out. Enjoy your day. You see us tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.